Good evening and welcome to Real World News TV. Joining me this evening, I'm your host, Chara and Tappin, and joining me this evening is Reggie Kearney, our illustrious editor-in-chief for the Urban Sentinel, and our wonderful producer, Tony Breedlove. How are you all this evening?
Just fine, just lovely.
With her beauty pageant wave.
Mhm.
Doing good.
So tonight we're talking about Trump again and his administration. They've passed, I think, since he's been in office, over 117 executive orders and legislation and efforts to a rapid effort to repeal a lot of legislation that was passed under Obama and prior presidents, all in an effort to make America great again. My position is that nothing he's doing is making America great again, with his efforts related to foreign policy and immigration, the justice system, education, the economy. I can't see anything that he's doing that isn't an immediate detriment to all of those categories. What are your thoughts, Reggie?
Well, he's trying to run the country like he's running a corporation. And I was listening to the news today, and how many bills has he passed this year through Congress? Okay, we don't know. None, hardly, okay? Just a couple. So what he's doing, instead of going to Congress and trying to work with Congress to pass these bills, meaningful bills, instead of executive orders, he's using the pen, doing executive orders. Now, hopefully the Democrats will get control of the White House in 2020. That means you got to go back and reverse all these crazy executive orders that he's put in place. Get rid of them, especially ones when it comes to dealing with the environment. I mean, his feeling is he just doesn't understand what's going on with the environment. He pulled out the climate change agreement with the European nations. He just doesn't realize what this world is going through at this time. So for him, and like you said, it's all because he doesn't want anything around that has to do with Obama. It's just like he's trying to get this new deal with Mexico, but he doesn't want to call it NAFTA no more because he said NAFTA was nothing but bad for the country. He's calling the United States agreement, the United States trade agreement with Mexico. Whoop-de-doo.
It's just unfathomable. It's so hard to see rhyme or reason. I mean, there's obvious rhyme or reason. He's racist, misogynist. He's pro-business. Anything that puts money in the pockets of himself or his sycophantic criminal cabal. Nothing he does is for the common person. He's anti-wildlife protection. He's pro-hunting. He's anti-environment. He's pro-coal, pro-fracking, pro-dumping. He gives lip service to announcing commemorative days to recognize various movements, national heroes, and leaders, and yet does nothing to truly support their initiatives like civil rights or equal pay and things of that nature. He's against big government, except when it enables him to, offer pardons to his cohorts or give big tax breaks to the extremely wealthy. And obviously that benefits him and his family as well. He wants to be perceived as the bad guy. There's the good guy, Freudian slip. There's a strange dichotomy with him because on the one hand, he doesn't shy away from being a complete and utter asshole. Sorry, I stole the word from you, Tony. I'll let you curse the next time. But, he'll do something for good press, like meeting with the pastors to discuss prison reform, wait for the press to die down, and then quietly announce that he's changing his mind or shifting his position and do nothing. And he's done this more times than I can count. So I can't see anybody continuing to stand by him that doesn't have the alt-right supremacist agenda. He passes executive orders, and then, on the face, they seem. Take the EPA, for example, or not even that. Look at the national parks. He proposed using 46% of them, whether to sell it to companies or allow fracking or drilling or digging for coal or dumping. And I think the day after they made this announcement, information was still on the website about impact the impact on the environment. And people went on the website and downloaded the information and saw it before they were able to take it down. And we saw this from day one when he took office, right? He took LGBT, what's the acronym? LGBTQ information down off of the website, information about equal pay for women off the website, information about civil rights off the website. Then they proposed legislation with fraudulent statistics and fraudulent information to suggest that their legislation is justified, when we know from actual reports in research and scientific studies or civic studies that it's not. But people seem to be sucking this up like, mother's milk. I don't understand.
Well, his thing is that he's running a generic type of government. Okay, it's only what he says goes. Okay, he's not trying to work with Congress. He's not trying to get anything done through Congress. He's just trying to do it himself.
And they're all Republicans, so why wouldn't he work with them?
Well, the thing is, they don't want to go against him because they don't want to lose that vote when it comes time to get reelected in the midterms. But he really honestly feels what he's doing is right for the country. He doesn't understand that he's destroying the country.
It's not right for the country. It's right for him.
Well, no, he feels like the country. But
he feels that, but it's not. And I have to agree with Chara. I mean, he you know what? We don't even know what he feels. Because apparently with all of this idiot behavior that he has displayed since being in office and even before, we still don't know what he feels.
Oh, we know a few things.
Okay. Well, I'm saying about the country, because now you have to remember when he first started talking about, putting his name in the hat, the way that he had gotten the base, or had obtained the base that he has, is by saying that we are going to drain the swamp, right? We're going to get all of these people in big government out of office, and we're going to turn it around. And people were flabbergasted. Yeah, they were suckered into it. They were flabbergasted by the fact that, oh my gosh, now we have someone who is in here for our best interest, and how good this could be because he's a businessman. Not even looking at the fact that this businessman was an outright idiot before he even threw his name in the hat. Things about Donald Trump, everyday people didn't know about because they had no interest to look him up. All they knew is that, I'm going to watch The Apprentice when it comes on NBC or ABC or CBS, whatever the hell network it is. They didn't take the time to see that there were issues of racism. There were issues of bigotry, that he was not paying his bills, that he was being sued because of sexual
harassment.
People ate this shit up when he said, I'm just going to get, I'm going against big government. That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. Yeah. Now that he's there, it's too hard to turn around. I think more so it's an ego thing when we talk about, where the Republicans are. You haven't heard them murmur a word, not one word, no matter what it is, even down to the last of where we are right now of McCain. So people, it's an ego thing for a lot of it. Yeah, it's a lot of ego.
What boggles my mind is, people are, those racist or classist or whatever their issues are, or whatever their ism is, are so blinded by the notion of their man taking office and taking control and leading the fray. They're missing the point. The legislation that he's passing or proposing and the executive orders that he's writing down fervently are undoing protections for everybody, from the lowest of us to middle class, whether it's, rescinding justice reform, reversing the restrictions on prisons for profit, or, canceling the phasing out of prisons for profit, revoking legislation that would broaden the scope of people who are entitled to overtime pay. The number of people in this country that work overtime and don't get paid for it, it's insane. You know, the environment is a whole nother subject, poisoning our water, poisoning our lands. I think you give him a little too much credit in even thinking that he thinks he's doing something good for the country. It's good for him and it's good for his wealthy cronies. That's it. It's not good for the country and it's not good for anybody.
Let me say something. Government has never really been good for black folks anyway. Okay.
Anyway, I agree.
First, okay. We have never been a part of the actions of the government anyway, other than arresting us and not giving us our rights. Okay. So in a sense, what he like I said again, he feels like he's doing things right for his segment of the country. Now, 98% of those deplorables don't even look at the news, so they don't know anything about the executive order. Okay? Now, if you would go in and grab about 10 of them and take a poll of what's going on at the White House, they wouldn't even be able to tell you. The only time
Space Force.
Yeah, that's all we can say.
They don't read.
Yeah, the only time they identify with the man in the White House is when he comes into their cities to do a rally. Okay, that's the only time. But other than that, if you ask them about if any of the executive orders, they can't tell you one executive order he's done. Okay, they don't keep up with the news that way. They don't know. Right. They don't even know. So that's why I say black folks haven't been given any. The government hasn't given black folks anything. Okay, you know, we have had to work hard and earn everything that we've gotten. Okay, you know, so we're not part of the government. You know, you look
at well, you've got 46 members in the House and 2 members in the Senate, and that's also partly on us because we don't have a lot of us that run. Unlike yourself, Mr. Kearney. Credit given where credit is due. But, you know, we don't have a lot of folks that actively seek out these positions. So while the system may be set up not exactly user-friendly and approachable for most of us, it is not impossible. It is not impossible for us to rise through the ranks. So again, it goes back to something we've talked about in a number of shows, you know, pursuit of education, reading, educating yourself, participating on a civic level. That's on us. You know, the schools 50, 60, 70 years ago didn't offer as much as they do now, but yet our ancestors were able to make the best of it and educate themselves, and many of them succeeded, where today you just don't seem to have people that are that hungry. They want the quick buck. You know, rap, football, basketball, reality TV, or YouTube sensation. You know, those seem to be the options. But there's no sex appeal in being educated anymore, and being learned. You know, and so that goes towards the practice of dumbing down the country, which again I say was a very successful program that is still in place.
Yeah.
You know, you get those same 10 Americans you talked about and ask how many of them have read a book, not a graphic novel.
They're actually what is a book? You know, you know, that's what you're gonna ask. You know, I'm looking at over the weekend on CNN Politics, the judge strikes down sections of Trump executive orders for federal workers and is a victory for the unions. You know, he's trying to dissolve the unions that operate within the federal government.
Right.
He doesn't want anybody to contest his will.
Yeah, whatever he can do, but he got a pushback, okay, from the judges. And that's one thing I think that's been good, that judges have pushed back on him. You know, like the judge here in the District Court of D.C. has pushed back on him on some of his orders, you know, as far as limiting him to what he can do. I mean, you look at what he did with the executive orders concerning immigration. They all got knocked down until they got to the Supreme Court. But look how long they stayed down.
Exactly.
Right. He still doesn't have a clear cut order.
He doesn't have a plan. There's no plan.
You know, he just keeps kicking the can down the road that satisfies him. Okay. You know, and that's all what it's about. But like I said, you know, the country is going to, excuse the expression, hell in a handbasket, okay? Very easy, you know. And I was listening to one of the news analysts today on MSNBC. They said This is the time for other countries to take advantage of other countries with war. Reason being is that this country is such in a jacked up situation that countries could take over other countries, and the person in the White House wouldn't even know anything about it or know what to do.
He don't know what's going on in this damn country, so why would he know any damn thing in any other country?
Well, you know what though? War means money, right?
Yeah,
Look at how much money Cheney made. Look at how much money Cheney made doing that. So what he would do is reconstitute the draft, and
we wouldn't be involved in the war when it is all done and said. Whatever happened in other countries would have taken place. Okay, that's what he was saying. They were saying then that this country is such a dysfunctional country. If another country wanted to come up our shores and take a shot at us, they could.
Yeah,
they're not focused on anything. When you alienate the NSA, when you alienate the CIA, how much good security information you think you get? I mean, let's be honest about it.
Not that he'd read it.
Well, he doesn't read it. He doesn't read his briefings.
He doesn't. He doesn't
read it. So he doesn't know what's going on in the world, what the threats are in the world. He doesn't know. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? And so I'm sitting here looking at some of the executive orders that he actually signed in and had put into place. And there was one on June 14th, 2017, called "Follow the Rule Act." Have you guys heard that one?
No, I haven't heard that.
Okay, so listen to this one.
Okay.
This law protects federal employees from retaliation for refusing to violate a federal rule or regulation. It expands upon the protections of the Whistleblower Protection Act of 1987, which shields employees from backlash for refusing in order to violate federal law. So let's look at the fact that you've got assholes that are sitting in that administration right now that are violating federal law. And you have the nerve to put your pen to paper to an act that says it's Follow the Rules Act? How sorry.
Go for it. Go for it. Oh, so close. I'm going to get a bell.
I heard he was going to do an executive order for usage of bathroom in federal buildings, So.
Well, look, we know that he believes nothing is a federal law unless he says it is, right? The Constitution is unfair. The judges don't know what they're talking about. Mueller and other specialists whose job it is to investigate don't know what they're talking about. He is the end-all, do-all of all information, the master of the jack of all trades and the master of none but bullshit.
Yeah. Absolutely. Did you just say bullshit?
Bull chips. I said bull chips.
Okay, let's bring it in. Let's bring it in a little uncontrolled now, ladies. But he's destroying the country with executive orders. If he wakes up in the morning and there's not enough toilet paper in the executive bathroom, he'll do an executive order for more toilet tissue allotments for the White House. Okay. So I don't know. I just don't know, but I think all of it just boils down again to him wiping out anything that Obama had a hand in. Okay, and that's just
without any thought to whether it was good or not for the country.
Exactly.
There's just much like the criminalization of Black people and minorities. It's just a foregone conclusion that everything he did was bad.
Yeah.
Right.
And so there's no investigation. There's no research. He brings on all of these people in their leadership positions of the Department of Labor and EPA and all of these other institutions expressly for the purpose of dismantling those institutes, those institutions, and then makes these sweeping broad changes without doing the research to make a determination whether or not they were needed or not. He even reversed the ban on civil forfeiture. So cops can stop you and, take your property because they suspect something. And if it's proven later on that it wasn't true, they don't have to return your property, whether it's money, car, house, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
How is that making the country great again? How is that protecting the citizens?
Yeah. Look at this executive order here, providing an order of secession within the Department of Justice. What kind of executive order is that?
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that. It's just insane.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so here's another one that I find quite interesting.
I know which one it
And
is.
I want to know what the hell he was thinking. Let's see, this one is from January 8th, 2018. So this just happened just this year. The African American Civil Rights Network Act.
I saw that.
Of 2017. This law does establish the Civil Rights Network in the National Park Service.
What's that?
What? What the hell? You know what? This is it's comical. It's comical. Now, what are you trying to say? You trying to send us to the forest?
I guess so. He doesn't know that. Executive order doesn't even make sense. That was
it doesn't.
That was
because here's one. Yeah. So here's one. January 8th. Also, 400 Years of African American History Commission Act. This bill establishes the 400 Years of African American History Commission to develop and carry out activities throughout the United States to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the arrival of Africans in the English colonies at Point Comfort, Virginia in 1619.
Yes, let's make that a holiday.
I guess what we're going to do, we're going to do reenactments of slavery, okay? That's what that bill is all about. Want us to do something commemorate 400 years of oppression in this country? Okay, we'll get together, we'll go down there and reenact our butts being bought on ships by white folks, okay? That's what that one is all about, okay?
Exactly. What the hell? I mean, people looking at tonight's show, I mean, are you as stunned as
when are we going to start this celebration of slavery? Okay, that's basically what that bill is, okay? It's a celebration of slavery, okay? And we're going to have to reenact it, you know? Excuse me. Okay, and this is the one that never happened. The White House initiative to promote excellency and innovation in historically Black colleges and universities. That never happened. That was just
but he got a lot of press. He got a lot of positive press for that immediately following that, and of course, like everything else, starts off. He does it for the press. Once it dissipates, he flips the script. Like this man plays with numbers to justify his positions, constantly flips on his support, lies boldly. He could say something 1 minute, literally 60 seconds later, say he didn't say it. So when I looked through this laundry list of things the legislation and amendments that he passed or expanding on existing laws, and some of them, on the face of it, sound good, but we're only getting a snippet here. We're not getting the full language of the bills. And there's always something tagged on to a bill as well.
But these aren't bills. These are executive orders, like Buy America and Hire America executive order. Okay, so basically what that is, you buy America and you hire America.
He doesn't do that.
Executive order.
Yeah.
All right, now, so them little red hats that the idiots be wearing, made in China. His daughter had all her stuff made in China. Okay, so it should have been buy it in America, but make it in Asia.
Yeah.
Right. OMG. I mean, the list goes on and on. If you're interested in seeing the laundry list that Chara calls it, I call it something else. Of the policies and legislation and executive orders that have been signed into to law or bills or whatever the hell we're going to call it. I'm just going to call them bullshit. Then you can head on over to CNN, CNN.com, and you can actually put in executive orders signed, or you can find it on their website. But this was actually put up on January 20th this year of what had been signed by President Trump.
The Washington Post also had an interesting list of all of the things that he's undone, all of the things that he's revoked or reversed. And it's a very exhaustive and depressing list. And I can't see any American looking at no matter what side of the fence you're on, Republican, independent, conservative, worshipers of the great spaghetti monster in the sky, it doesn't matter. This list should piss off any American,
Right.
Reversing the rule that expanded the number of people who can earn overtime. Reversing an interpretation of Civil Rights Act that protected transgender workers. Ended a rule that barred employers from taking some or all of the tips from service employees. Ended a rule mandating financial advisors act in the best interest of their clients. So we can have a bunch of Madoffs again, and that's not a problem. As long as Madoff is making money, it's not a problem if American citizens get ripped off. Reversing an executive order that mandated compliance by contractors with laws protecting women in the workplace. It's just making it, protections for students, for predatory loaners. The list goes on, and it's utterly disgusting.
Yeah, and I really do want people to take a look at these executive orders and these legislations that this freaking idiot has put in place. It's astounding. It's astounding. It's shocking. It will leave you with your mouth hanging open. I just posted the link in the chat area and also in the show, so you can take a look at what we're looking at. But I encourage people to take a look at it and tell me what they think. Send us a message. Tell us what you think about some of this crap that we're looking at. It's important.
Yeah. But the thing is, he feels like he's done a whole lot for this country through executive orders.
No, he's done a whole lot to this country, not for this country.
The thing about it, look at the amount of executive orders he's written or approved. He's probably done more than Obama and Obama's both terms and Bush's both terms put together. Okay,
that's what it says.
Yeah, because those guys worked with Congress and Senate to get that bill through. If they didn't get the bill through, they didn't go to the office and grab a piece of notebook paper and make an executive order. Okay, and that's the biggest difference in them. And he's willing to just not use Congress, not use the Senate.
And when he ran, like you said earlier, he was going to run this as a business. He was going to get bipartisan support. He was going to unify the government, clear the swamp, get Democrats and Republicans to agree on things. And now he's not even utilizing the House and the Senate when he has a stacked deck of Republicans. So, I think that is evidence that he knows what he's doing is bullshit. That he knows what he's doing would not necessarily pass easily through the House and the Senate.
That's what I was about to say. Because as quiet as they are, Chara and Reggie, as quiet as Republicans are right now and have been over this past year, I don't think anything that he puts through would pass. He knows that. He knows that. He knows what he can do with executive orders. If anything he's read up on and studied is that. He doesn't know his ass from his elbow, but he knows how to write an executive order.
That and fearmonger.
I can call him up tomorrow morning and say, hey, 45, we need an executive order not to run over possums when we see them in the highway. He'll do an executive order on that, okay?
Yeah. Well, can you mention to him maybe writing an executive order to let a bunch of folks come in and beat the fuck out of him? Oh, beat the hell out of him.
I knew it. Yeah, ding, 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 ding.
So that's why I don't like discussing him, okay? It brings out the best of Tony, okay?
Hey, I've heard you drop a few.
Yeah.
So,
But the thing is, he's really, really screwing the country around. And that's what we got to look at, Nothing. I can see if some of the executive orders were benefiting the country, but they're not. Like I said, why are we going to mess up the environment by allowing them to pour cold sludge back into the rivers in West Virginia? Okay,
right.
The rivers are already clean. Now he's allowing the coal mines to put the sludge back into the river
and in the air. You
All in the
know,
name of God.
he's taken the deregulations off, or he's deregulating anything that has to do with the environment.
Yeah.
Anything. You can look at it. You can find it. If you don't believe it, look it up. Anything. Yeah. So even with California, with the air as bad as it is or had been over the last 20 years, at some point we had finally got to a point with the regulations that you had clean air and clean energy. And it was being seen. The air is not as thick as it used to be in LA. I was even looking at the air and the environment here in Nevada. And all of a sudden you start seeing this smudge crap in the air. It hadn't been that way for a few years. Yeah. But now he's not hurting this country. He's hurting everything that this country has stood for.
And we're not even, you know, you look at other countries, other advanced countries that are investing in green technology, getting rid of their waste, recycling. We're so far behind the 8 ball. We're up the 8 ball, you know, we're up the 8 ball's ass. You know, we're not making ourselves competitive on a global scale. And if we keep going this route, we will become a third world country.
Right.
You know, and with nothing but, you know, wealthy Imelda Marcoses counting their shoes. I don't know where they think they're going to get their water from or where they think they're going to get clean air from. But it's insidious, you know.
They don't care. You know, it's obvious he doesn't care. But
and we're letting it happen. The government is letting it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's why we got to hope that there's a change at the midterm elections. You know, that's the only way this country is going to be brought in control. He's going to be brought in control. Okay.
Yeah. And that brings up another point. When you talk about these midterm elections, you know, Trump, we were saying just before the show started, basically did another one of his semi-passive aggressive calls to action to his white supremacists by suggesting if the Republicans lose control of the House, that there'll be violence by Antifa. Now, let's take that statement apart for a second, because if the Republicans were to lose control of the House, Antifa would celebrate. They would not be the root cause of any violence. So what that really is a hidden message saying that there will be violence from the alt-right, from the tiki torch, white T-shirt, khaki pants wearing racists in this country who want him to stay in charge to continue putting through all of this legislation. Now, nobody that he nominates for any position, including the judge or anybody that he supports running for office, whether, you know, Republicans, we know that a good number of them are racist or classist or side with him on major issues like suggesting that the president should be exempt from an investigation and could pardon himself. He is self-serving in every respect. And if you speak up against him, you're anti-American. You're an idiot. You might have 3 PhDs, but you're the idiot. He can't learn anything from anybody unless it's Breitbart, Fox, or some other, you know, Judge Puro or some other idiot.
This is the thing. Let me tell you something. Ain't none of that gonna happen. Okay, they couldn't even get 30 people to that rally that was held here in D.C. last month. Okay, and like some of the commentators said, a lot of that mess that he was trying to make happen has blown. The flame has burned out on. Okay, it's a very faint flame with it. Okay, because first of all they realize wherever they go they're gonna be outnumbered. Okay. A lot of these knuckleheads, racist knuckleheads that participate in that kind of mess have good, well-paying government jobs, private sector jobs. Yeah, they are honest racists, but they're not willing to lose everything they got for some mess coming in D.C. or messing with 45, okay? Like I said, you might have small pockets of idiots, like in North Dakota, up in the Midwest, up in the woods, that live with the movement.
Nevada.
Yeah, some Nevada that live up in the mountains that will participate in this kind of mess, you know. But again, the majority of the knuckleheads don't even look at the news, okay? They don't even know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow. They just know that the sun's going to shine. If the sun is shining, it's going to be a good day. If it's cloudy, it's going to rain. That's his
Well, I
step.
got a promise. I got a promise for somebody that comes to darken my doorstep or step to me.
Yeah. So, and
I got something for you. I got a promise for you.
Okay, let me tell you something. You think black folks are strapped up and ready to go?
Ooh.
And Antifa is crazy, okay? We don't even need to do nothing. Just let Antifa take care of business, okay? They don't have nothing for Antifa. I looked at it that day, on the news when they came to DC, and okay, they done snuck the racists out of the area near the White House and snuck them out, put them in a van, and drove them off to the metro station. I said, okay, cool. Now we done got everything back in control. Everybody go home. Go get some rest and get ready for Monday. Dang, if Antifa wasn't out there trying to start a fight with the police. That's how they roll. So hey, I'm cool with them. Hey, take care of it for me, okay?
Oh, handle your business.
One of the other things that he did though was roll back. After Ferguson, I think that Obama had passed something disallowing military bases to give their excess materials to the local police. So now we have, the militarization of the police to contend with in all of these states as well. So, if you had said a year and a half ago that he could have done this much damage this quickly, I knew that it would be damaging. I just didn't realize that he would do this much this quickly. And it concerns me because the longer he stays in office, the more damage he can do.
The worse it gets.
Yeah. And
I agree.
What I don't want to happen is Antifa out in the streets with their weapons, the militarized police out in the street with their weapons, the supremacists out there with their tiki torches and their doomsday prepper arsenals, the Bloods and the Crips out with their weapons. That's what I want.
And then there's Tony out with hers.
Yeah. And Reggie out with his matches, ready to burn everything up. I don't want us to get to that point.
Well, I don't think we'll never. Everything's always going to be pushed to the edge. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll never see. I don't think we'll never see a race war. Who's going to start? I'm not going to go out here and go across the street and open up the door of my white neighbor's house and purge them, okay? Someone has to start something on a large scale.
In order for it, right.
In order for that to happen, okay? There's not going to be another Rosewood, okay? There's not going to never be another Tulsa, Oklahoma, okay?
Knock on wood.
That's not going to
that won't happen. That won't happen.
So you have to have someone to go out into a neighborhood, a black
that
neighborhood.
is predominantly
you black. Just had that. You had that guy sending mail bombs to black-owned homes. There are stupid people out there ready to try this shit.
That doesn't start a race war. They need
right.
If they want to start a race war, they would have to pull up in somebody's neighborhood about 500 deep and start killing people. Okay, that was started. None of them are going to do that. Okay, there's always going to be talk of a race war. Okay, we're never going to get around that conversation because that's what he feeds to his base. Okay, that's what he feeds to his base. But when it comes down to it, them guys gonna run home with their tails between their legs. Now they'll sit on Facebook all day long and taunt us, okay, and say what they got to say. Just like I don't think you were on with me and Tony during the Christmas holidays back in November. We had these guys got on to the Facebook page.
Oh yeah,
and they just went at it for the whole night. They were going back and forth the whole night.
About what?
They were trolling the show.
Oh yeah.
They got in and they went in, and that's what they're going to do. Okay, they feel like they can troll us enough that we get scared. They're trolling us. Okay, they're saying this and that. No, it's not going to work that way. Okay, they realize that it's a different black man out here and black woman out here today. Okay, this is not the past. 40s and 50s. Okay.
Because we let them have it, Chara.
The times are different. Is there going to be friction in this country? Yeah, it's always going to be friction in this country because Trump has come along. Well, I said his name. Trump has come along. I said it again. 45 has come along and opened up a can of worms, feeding his base that meat. Okay.
It's like Beetlejuice. You say it one more time, you're screwed.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, I'm not gonna say it, but he's opened up that can of worms. So that can of worms will never be closed. Okay. Will we have another black president in this country? Yes. Are we gonna have a black woman one day? Yes. Are we gonna have a Hispanic president? Yes. Is this country 50 years from now gonna have 10% white population? Yes, because they're dying out. They're not breeding no more. Those are the things
and that's what they're afraid of.
Yeah.
That's what they're running scared on.
I hope I can live to 2050, okay? I'll be 93 years old. I hope I can live to see the census report doing it in the next 50 years when they say that the whites are a minority, okay? Because that's what scares them.
Yeah, but you know what they're going to do in response to that to make sure they maintain control is
they'll sleep with their sisters and brothers.
No. Those people who are afraid of losing control will institute legislation and policies that completely undermine our existing democracy, or what we think our democracy is supposed to be. And they'll if they continue on the thread they're doing now with voter ID, closing DMVs, closing polling places, guys running for election proposing that only landowners should be able to vote. They will do everything they can to change the very nature of how we vote for elected officials in this country to ensure that they maintain the control.
Mm-hmm. But that's not going to happen.
I don't think that'll work either, though.
Well, I'd like to think not.
It's not, because first of all, the courts ruled in Georgia that those polling places must be open and stay open, okay? If Abrams is elected governor in Georgia, it's game on, okay? We'll see a wave of momentum go across the country with women, Hispanics, a lot of minorities are going to start getting elected to these big offices, okay? Then the problem you have, and like I said, and it's very true that the most important issues you have to deal with are on the state level, okay? When you look at a state like North Carolina, they're trying to take away all the power of the government and just make them a figurehead. You're right. Those are the things you're going to have to watch out for. And it's going to be more of a state level thing than a national level thing.
That starts there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got to really watch what's going on with state level. We really got to get involved by state politics, especially my friends in North Carolina, because that's where North Carolina is the laboratory for the Republican Party. If they can get it done in North Carolina, they can spread it around to all the other red states. Okay, and that's where you're going to have the problem there, But like my grandmama said, if you wait them out long enough, they all going to die out, okay?
Oh,
so, it's either going to be you dying first or them dying first. And that's what we got to do. The change that this country sees is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't care how much 45 gets up on his bully pulpit and uses the code words that they need to hear. Okay? Immigration is going to continue on. The Hispanics going to grow stronger. The black population is going to get stronger. And they are going to be at a point they're going to have to accept what it is if they want to survive and be a part of civilization.
Well, all I know is they, the infamous they, we've been under attack. Your average Joe, your minorities, your middle class, lower class people have been under attack in this country for generations. Whether it's the dumbing down of our educational system and altering of history books, making it more difficult to live if you can't get insurance or medical coverage, messing with our food supply. To the point where some of these things no longer have any nutritional value whatsoever. They won't need to have a major uprising to take control, because we'll be so dumb, sick, and tired and poor, we won't be able to fight back.
Yeah.
We have to do it now before it's too late.
Now, this is my problem. You know what I'm concerned most about in this world right now is global warming. Australia is in their winter months right now, and they're having a drought. Okay?
Right.
That's what concerns me, because if you look at Australia's having a drought, there were record high temperatures in Europe this year. Have been record high temperatures in Europe this year for the summer. Never has happened before. East Coast has been flooded with rain. West Coast is burning down. Okay? Those are the things I'm concerned with. Yeah, I'm concerned with human rights issues, voting issues, and anything else. I want to wake up and breathe anymore. I want to see another day. I want to live as long as I can in this world. Right. But what we are doing now, and what 45 is allowed to happen now, is the destruction of this world bit by bit by bit. Now the European countries get it. They're going to continue doing everything that they can to not to put the poisons into the atmosphere. And that's all it is. It's just the global warming is coming from like the fires and on the West Coast, the smoke spreading around the world, the volcano action in Hawaii. That stuff gets into the atmosphere and darkens the atmosphere. Okay? Those are the things that I really have a concern with right now on how the world's being operated. That's why one of the biggest reasons we got to get him out of office is so we can get this, allow him to destroy this country, the atmosphere, before he gets out.
Yeah.
You know, it has rained on the East Coast, and y'all had tornadoes in New York this year. It has rained almost every week. And when I say rain, it ain't on those drip drop.
Right.
You can go out and take a shower out there and rinse off and do everything. I mean, it's been pouring down. So those are my concerns. I mean, I think that has to be a concern for all Americans that have common sense and brains. Okay. Because God made us stewards of this world. Okay. It's our job to protect this world, and we're not doing a good job of it right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for anything, I ain't scared of a white supremacist. I ain't scared of 45. I ain't scared of none of them cronies, okay? But I am scared of losing the environment, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Waking up one morning, the only thing you can do, you got oxygen in your house, but when you go out, you got to put a mask on and try to survive.
Well, by then we'll have to buy oxygen, just like we're at the point now where we have to buy our water. And that's another thing. If we're getting our water from, local aquifers, and we're poisoning it by dumping coal, refuse, and fracking, pretty soon even the water we buy is going to be filled with lead and all kinds of nonsense. So you're going to wind up with classes of products that we can afford, right? So those who are poor will get the crappiest version of water, and those at the upper echelons will get the cleanest water. That is the currency of the future, water and air. And if we keep going in this direction, there's not going to be enough.
Right.
Yeah, it's not. So, those are things that really concern me. What kind of life will my grandkids have? Okay. What kind of life will their children have? What the world? I mean, I won't be here to see. What will the world look like 100 years from now?
Yeah.
Those are things I'm really concerned about, and those are things we got to continue to fight for. The environment. You can't discount. Excuse me. You just can't discount that.
Yeah. So. See, now you're developing a cough with all this badass air.
Yeah, you're right about that. But like I said, I'm smelling smoke here on the East Coast, and they said it's smoke from the West Coast. It's traveling through the atmosphere, to the higher.
It does.
The atmosphere and stuff.
You can see it in the air from in Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
So those are things. That's where voting power comes in. We got to get him out of there, and we got to put the EP back together. If not, we're doomed. The water, like you said, where we're gonna get water for fresh drinking water? If he destroys it, we'll allow the coal mines to put sludge back in there. It's all about business. Like you said, it's about how to make money for his friend.
Yeah, but and then they'll all afford to be able to relocate to Europe, or one of the few remaining clean places left.
Yeah.
It's like a really bad sci-fi movie. What we're going through right now.
One morning, 100 years from now, you're gonna come out. Well, if you're here, your kids or your grandkids gonna come out in Lower Manhattan and gonna be underwater.
Yep.
Because of the melting of the glaciers, the North Pole.
Yeah.
It rises so many inches a year. Eventually Lower Manhattan will be lower.
But he even revoked some legislation about that, which is insanity. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
What you seeing, Chara? What you seeing?
I'm looking for it. I made a whole list of things here that he had done, but it's like right now when I worked for Building Code Land Use Zoning Company, one of the things that was implemented still, I think, under Obama, and I think it was after one of the last floods that we had, was you had to do a mitigation. There are these flood lines now on the maps. So you've got current flood lines based on the most recent floods that we've had over the last 10 years, and then what they think will happen in 50, 100, and 500 years. And so if you're building a new property in Lower Manhattan or any place south of a particular, any place near the coastline, you have to look at this map and inform the Department of Buildings that you're building in this area and take certain types of precautions. If anywhere from the second floor down, if you're in the flood zone, you have to make precautions in your building, something with the foundation or whatever, in order to prepare for this. And he revoked something, and I can't find it now. That means you don't have to look at that anymore. Just ignore it. It's irrelevant.
Bill.
Yeah.
Make money now while you can, So.
But what good is that money if you can't spend it later because you're dead?
Yeah, they don't care about it.
They don't care.
Yeah, but I think what'll happen if Democrats are able to take over the House and Senate with the midterms, you'll find those Republicans that were scared of them. They're going to kind of side with the Democrats to try to right some of this wrong in this country. Okay.
Here you go.
You think so?
Yeah,
the more moderate Republicans, and then the dingbat Republicans, they always hang out there with them,
Because when you talk about Republicans who are staunch, I don't think that they'll ever side with anything that has to do with the Democrats.
Yeah, but look, the governor in Arizona might get hung if he don't put a Trump sympathizer in McCain's seat. But see, if I was him, I wash my hands of it. I would put McCain's wife in there and let the voters take care of the next ones that come in there.
Exactly.
And I'm hoping that he will appoint McCain's wife. That way, the current nominee for the Supreme Court chances are limited in getting elected to the Supreme Court. Her vote could be a swing vote. So
I don't know. I'm just interested to see what's going to happen at the midterms. That's what I'm interested in.
We need 35 in Congress and 2 seats in the Senate, 2 or 3 seats in the Senate.
3 in the Senate.
Yeah, 35 in Congress. It's a number that's doable. People got to go out and vote.
Well, I am.
So I think
I'm gonna vote like 3-4 times.
No, stop.
Okay.
Don't feed into that. Oh God.
We need behind bars too. But I think our next show is going forward. We need to remember to bring that point up. Encourage people to go out and vote.
We do every show.
Yeah. That's going to be important. To go out and vote during the military.
Yeah, because I think what we have now about 60 days now.
Yeah, it's not far. It's not long. You really talking about days.
Yeah, so we're talking about 60 days. And I'm going to just say it plain because that's who I am. Get up off your lazy asses. Let me look into the camera. Get up off your lazy asses and go to the poll. There are no excuses. Take your neighbor. Take the folks you don't like. Take the person with the dog that you wanted to shoot the other day. Just go out to the polls and vote.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'm done.
Yeah, we got to do that. That's my prayer, that people are going to go out and vote, because people get kind of lazy during the midterms. They act like there's nothing to vote for, but if we want to change this country in those swing states, they'll go out and put these guys in Congress.
Yeah. Just got a notification that Democrat won, I think, the governor position. I think it was Florida. It went too fast, so I couldn't read it to you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good update, Chara.
One down, 34 to go.
I know. All right. Well, we are in your last 5 minutes.
Stop the madness.
Any final thought for tonight, Mr. Reggie Kearney?
Hey, vote. Voting is very important right now.
And Miss Chara?
Read. Research.
Okay, are you talking to the people in the backwoods or just everybody?
Everybody, pick up a book and read. For the love of all that's holy, educate yourselves.
Oh my gosh.
Let me see.
I mean, we sit on these shows every week, and I don't think people really understand and realize the gravity of their vote and how important it is. But I'm going to say it again, like Reggie Kearney said, vote, vote, and vote. And you have to know how to read. Like Chara said, read. Yeah, you need to know how to read to vote.
So what you saw just now was that the Trump-backed congressman down in Florida won the Republican nomination for governor. Okay?
I thought it's a Democrat.
But this is a problem. See, Trump don't know this. It's a wild card down in Florida right now. All the displaced Puerto Ricans moved to Florida after the hurricane.
They're gonna be mad.
So Florida really has the opportunity to put a Democrat in office.
Yeah, they really do. You
and
said it right.
And those guys are so mad. I guarantee they're gonna get registered and they're gonna go out and vote. And I think Florida might be another thing that might open up the door for Democrats nationwide. You know, could very well happen.
Well, they're all American citizens, so we welcome you to this side of the landmass here. You know, flood the states.
Yeah, so we're gonna see.
So wait, they can't vote when they're in Puerto Rico, but they can come in. They can register when they get here and vote. All right.
They vote in presidential election and stuff. You know, they got a electoral. Well, I think they got like one electoral vote.
They have one. Yeah.
So they're able to
All
vote.
right. Oh boy. Well, of course, the news is never going to stop. So as long as it's going to continue, then so will Real World News TV.
Yes, right.
Good
with
times.
Reggie Kearney, that guy, and Chara and Tappin.
Yes, she is.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We do invite you to sit in with Real World News TV every Tuesday night at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Central, and 8:30 on the East Coast. Make sure that you head on over to Facebook to follow Real World News TV on Facebook. That way you'll get all the information of all of the shows upcoming. Also, make sure that you head on over to the website at hottopicstalkradio.com/Real World News TV. And there you can catch up on the past shows, find out what's coming up next, as well as a little bit of resources and all kind of good stuff over there. What was that?
My phone just jumped up at me.
Oh, like, did she fall?
The ghost that was in your apartment last week is now here.
Oh my gosh. But for the comedy antics of Chara and Tappin, come on back and join us next week on Tuesday. It's been a great pleasure once again to sit in front of you. And Reggie Kearney and Chara and Tappin, I thank you for allowing me to sit on and cuss. Thank you very much.
Thank you for doing it for us.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so until then, you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Make sure that you catch me on Hot Topics Talk Radio tomorrow night, starting at 8:00 p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Central, and 11 o'clock on the East Coast. I'll be sitting in with Roland D. and Yvonne Baker. So we will see you on Real World News TV Tuesday and Hot Topics Talk Radio tomorrow night. So you guys have a good night. All right. All right. Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Real World News TV, you are now clear.